Hey there guys, it's Road Dog Does Politics here with a new video. Today I wanted to talk about something that happened yesterday with regard to America's foreign policy and obviously Trump's idiot, complete dick move to pull out of the Iran nuclear deal. Dick move. Utter complete, just idiotic decision. So as we heard yesterday, President of the United States, Donald Trump, made the executive decision that he was going to pull America out of the deal made in 2015 to prevent Iran from producing and manufacturing nuclear energy and nuclear weapons, the Iran nuclear deal, which was under Obama's administration and also involved other countries such as the United Kingdom, Germany, France, China, and Russia. So let's take a look at what the doofus in chief had to say.
The Iran deal is defective at its core. If we do nothing, we know exactly what will happen. In just a short period of time, the world's leading state sponsor of terror will be on the cusp of acquiring the world's most dangerous weapons. Therefore, I am announcing today that the United States will withdraw from the Iran nuclear deal. In a few moments, I will sign a presidential memorandum to begin reinstating U.S. nuclear sanctions on the Iranian regime. We will be instituting the highest level of economic sanction. Any nation that helps Iran in its quest for nuclear weapons could also be strongly sanctioned by the United States. America will not be held hostage to nuclear blackmail. We will not allow American cities to be threatened with destruction, and we will not allow a regime that chants death to America to gain access to the most deadly weapons on earth.
So just from watching that whole press conference, that speech that he made, it's just a screaming pack of lies. Like, barely any of it is true. And he talked about Iran threatening American cities with like death and destruction, and it's a state sponsor of terrorism, which I think Saudi Arabia is more culpable for that statement, actually, and America are allied with Saudi Arabia, who were responsible for the 9/11 tragedy. But anyway, he goes on saying, "Oh, I'm gonna keep my promises, and we're gonna stop Iran from accessing and creating nuclear weapons." It's like, that's the whole point of this deal, is to prevent Iran from, manufacturing and creating nuclear energy, nuclear weapons, and increasing its nuclear capabilities for like 10 years plus. But no, it's not good enough for Donald Trump. He won't accept it because it's an Obama legacy, and whatever Obama has done, Donald Trump just has to completely obliterate, because if Obama's done it, then even if it's good, even if it's a good deal, like the Paris Climate Agreement and Obamacare, he just wants to completely throw away like it's nothing because Obama. What a sad, sick, pathetic little man. So what actually is the Iran nuclear deal? So let's just quickly go through it. I've got a BBC article up here that just goes through it quite briefly. So it says, under the accord, Iran agreed in 2015 to limit its sensitive nuclear activities and allow in international inspectors in return for the lifting of crippling economic sanctions. So before the deal was made, sanctions were on Iran, like extremely heavy economic sanctions that were crippling the economy of Iran. And so in accordance with this deal, America agreed to lift those sanctions in return that Iran stop manufacturing nuclear capabilities, which is being said here. Here are the commitments set out in the JCPOA, which is the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action. So it just goes into detail about changes that were agreed under the deal and limiting the nuclear programs in various areas in Iran, including places like Tehran, Natanz, Fordow, other places like that. Inspectors from the International Atomic Energy Agency, IAEA, the global nuclear watchdog, continuously monitor Iran's declared nuclear sites and also verify that no fissile material is moved covertly to a secret location to build a bomb. Iran also agreed to implement the additional protocol to their IAEA Safeguards Agreement, which allows inspectors to access any site anywhere in the country they deem suspicious. So, if anything, this is a good deal. It literally prevents Iran from manufacturing nuclear energy and exporting it to other countries. It's literally moved all of that to different places. And according to the IAEA, the inspectors that come and quite regularly look to see if Iran is manufacturing nuclear material, they haven't been. So, if anything, it's a good thing that this is continuing. But no, under Donald Trump, apparently it's a rotten deal and it needs to be changed. Why this really grates on me is because it's just so unnecessary. It's so petty and so unnecessary. He doesn't need to do this. He's just creating more problems and more international instability and tension between other countries, like the UK included, who is still wanting to be a part of this deal, along with all the other countries that signed it, all apart from America, because it's just full of, the administration in Trump's White House is just steaming full of warmongers and war hawks and people affiliated with weapons manufacturers and corporations whose interests lie within the military-industrial complex. And their whole reason for being, they're literally wetting themselves over going to war. They're just people like John Bolton, who is the national security advisor to Trump, James Mattis, Mike Pompeo. They're all in it. They make money out of this. And Iran, because of this announcement, are threatening to reopen their nuclear program, which is just going to be a complete catastrophe. You thought Iraq was bad. You thought Iraq was an awful decision. Well, if we get into military conflict with Iran, it's going to be 10 times worse, because Iran actually has a working, efficient, actual army of its own. It's got around 81 million civilians. It's 3 times the size of Iraq, and it's oh my god, it's just gonna increase and just push more conflict and more war onto an area that is even completely unstable. And because it's now unstable, the oil prices in the area have risen and given money and profits to the oil companies and the oil reservoirs and the people that own the oil companies. So guess who's making money out of that? It's fucking sick, I tell you. People are suffering, but people in America and people in the West who have interests in order to create this war and instability deliberately. People make profits out of death. People are profiting out of death. It is vile. Here I have another article from HuffPost which details a little bit about Benjamin Netanyahu, the president or prime minister of Israel, who did a massive presentation about how Iran is lying and cheating about its nuclear weapons manufacturing, and they are in fact actually producing nuclear weapons, which isn't really based on any evidence at all, but played to an audience of people exactly like Trump who believed this and then used that as justification for exiting the deal. So it goes, Trump also cited Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's April 30th presentation on Iran's nuclear program, which alleged that Iran lied about its past nuclear activities before negotiating the nuclear deal. And Trump said in his press conference, "At the heart of the Iran deal was a giant fiction that a murderous regime desired only a peaceful nuclear energy program. Today we have definitive proof that this Iranian promise was a lie," Trump said. Nuclear experts and European officials criticized Netanyahu's speech for pandering to Trump and offering essentially no new information on Iran's nuclear activities. Much of Netanyahu's presentation centered on information that was publicly available in a 2007 declassified intelligence report, and Netanyahu did not state that Iran was in current violation of the deal. So it's just a mountain of lies and just based on no evidence at all. You're just going to come out of a deal that was like a really, really good and benefited America, just because you're making up this whole ploy that you don't want Iran to carry on its nuclear weapons program, which is exactly the heart of the deal itself, to stop them from manufacturing nuclear weapons. It's insane. This is a complete insanity. All you're doing is just increasing the likelihood for more war, more death, more destruction, and the only people that make money out of it and profit from it are the defense contractors and the oil manufacturers and the oil companies. Those are the people that make money out of it. Everyone else loses out. Civilians are going to die, and it's going to, provoke more issues to do with the refugee crisis that we've been having over the last few years. This whole thing that he's done is just, it's going to do nothing but create more conflict and more tension and more instability. And that is exactly what his warmonger cronies in the White House, they're pathetic slime balls that just profit out of war and destruction and just blood and death. It's just disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. He goes on to say, it is not immediately clear what will happen next. The 2015 nuclear agreement was negotiated among Iran, the US and 5 other countries, the UK, France, Germany, China and Russia, which urged the US not to withdraw. Last month, Iranian Foreign Minister Javad Zarif suggested that if the US pulled out of the nuclear accord, his country could also exit the deal and resume its nuclear program at a much greater speed. Iran has no reason to continue to abide by the agreement if the economic benefits start to diminish, he said. So therefore, if Trump, as he said, is going to reinstate the economic sanctions onto Iran as before the deal, then Iran has no incentive to stop manufacturing and carrying on its nuclear weapons program. So therefore it's just going to continue and start it up again. It's just madness. It's insane. It's absolutely insane. Why would you do this? If your whole point of withdrawing from the deal is to stop Iran from producing nuclear material, which is the whole point of the deal in itself, it's utter insanity. Utter insanity. This is literally the worst thing that America could have done, and they've done it, because they've got a fucking nut job in the White House as president who just doesn't have a clue, is just a completely mentally retarded fool. And, there are still people that go along with this. So anyway, yeah, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you soon in another video. Bye!